If you grew up in a house where your parent-child relationship is not so good, when you read the story of Joseph, you would think it's a bit biased because Joseph is this son who is so loved by the father, and the brothers also have this rough patch relationship with him, so much that the gown that he had is sent back home with some blood in disguise, and Joseph himself is sent first rather sent tossed and thrown into a pit, then later on sold into slavery. And as you read the story of Joseph, one of the things that you see is Joseph was a hopeful man, hoping something better will come out later in his life. And known to him, even as he's sold into slavery, as he is at Potiphar's house, again there his hopes seem to be shattered. He is sent into prison. Then, whilst into prison, we see also events turning him sent in, finally being found at the palace, controlling the vast majority of the then kingdom through his influence. And throughout my studies of this book, as I read the book of Genesis in the story of Joseph, one of the things that strikes most is Joseph's integrity. We see how even the household where he was in, he was entrusted with everything, but only the wife. And we also see him also in the prison doing things, different things, and later on we see his integrity being at play when he is finally at the palace where he is some sort of a prince or a leader. And that's one of the striking lessons that I learned. The other thing that I learned from this story is a story of faithfulness of Joseph. You know how Joseph was faithful in the these scenarios. I mean, when you look at it, him sharing the dream to the family at the moment was nothing to do with his pride. I mean, he's still young, he's still learning, and him also finding himself in the prison. And finally, you see the wonderful lesson of his faithfulness. But talking about it from the hope point of view, one of the things that I learn is sometimes we can have our brightest hopes where you are planning that this should be the next move. But unknown to you, God has his own ways of letting things happen. I mean, this Joseph who thought he would be this successful person finds himself in the prison. Not to mean that the palace is the prime of his life. There's a quote as you read this story which says, "And the Lord was with Joseph." I think that's the epitome of it all. Sometimes we so much wish our success to be in form of different things, recognition, maybe a workplace, work, money, and name it. But when you read throughout the story, this is why I'm actually sharing with you. The number one lesson that I recently learned is while we may have so many hopes in our lives of different things that would want us to come, the greatest hope should be us not leaving God. Because imagine the whole success that we can talk about in the life of Joseph is only hinged on the fact that God was with Joseph. And God may also orchestrate different things in our lives, like different things in our lives. But the most important things for you and I is not our integrity, because I mean, even that can be tested to the latter. But it's God's integrity. It's not also our faithfulness of how we can be faithful to duty. God wants us to reciprocate to his love through that way, but it's the faithfulness of God that makes us be happy, that makes us successful. So in whatever we're doing, let's keep hope alive, and let's always remember, if we're with God, then we're on the winning side. Bye, and continue to delight in him.